There is a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
We're back.
Hey, here we are, Purple Pill Show. I am the Code. This is
Tim.
Tim Botdas.
Yeah.
This is season 2, everybody. So it's I am the Code and Tim Botdas. All right.
That's it.
We got nicknames now. It's a whole thing, folks. We've been away for a while. You wouldn't know that because episodes have been coming, although not as frequently as they usually do. But
Right.
you've gotten episodes.
Yeah.
And we have been through a lot of things. We've been through a lot of tumultuous time.
Changes.
Changes.
Turn and face the strange. You know that song? David
love
Bowie.
it.
That's the best.
So I know that song. I was just singing that song.
Yeah, but you know the whole chorus though.
I know how it goes, but I don't know the words. But you do.
Turn and face the strange.
Turn and face the strange.
That's what he said. Straight up.
We've been turning and facing a little too much of that, right?
I know.
So yeah, basically the show broke our brains, and now we had to stop suspending our beliefs for a while. No, I'm teasing you.
I made it through brain surgery only to have my brain broken.
I know. I got
the 3D.
I had to take time off from talking or seeing Tim, and then things got a lot better. No. This is the show where we suspend our beliefs on what was and what is, and we use our imagination on what is and what could be. So there you go.
That's it. That's your parental advisory.
You
Enter at
can't-
your own
you
risk.
can't- Yeah, you enter at your own risk. You can't blame me for anything. And
I'll take it. I'll
Yeah.
take accountability on it all.
what's been going on? What's been going on? Well, Tim and I have been on this journey with you guys, and I guess we change our beliefs, and the world changes. And so the world's been changing very rapidly, and so we had to slow that puppy down, slow that rocket ship down a little bit. Now we're at a way station here in the Milky Way galaxy somewhere, and it's pretty nice. We're going to chill at this way station for a while. We're going to chill at this way station and do a season 2 for you. And we'll see where this whole thing takes us. We went and saw the fish shows. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, that was great.
Tim and I went to the Hollywood Bowl and blew our minds. I mean, they were amazing. They were absolutely amazing.
I wanted to see that new... What do I keep calling it? That I don't know. That
Space
new,
funk or-
yeah, man, it's that new fish.
Yeah,
I want to see that new
sound.
new jam.
It's like a thematic sound that they have.
Yeah,
Every few years they change their sound, and it's like a new level of jamming that they work on. And
it's like Funkadelic Maggot Brain.
yeah,
era.
there you go.
It's just
Funkadelic Maggot Brain.
psychedelic and just
Funky.
dude. It's so funky.
So we did that, and then the wife and I went to San Francisco, to Berkeley. That was a lot of fun. And
Yeah, I was curious. Your kids didn't go. How come you didn't ask me to watch your kids?
Grandma took them.
Oh,
Grandma took them.
it wasn't that long. It was like 3
Grandma's
days.
free. You charge. So there's.
Oh,
No, you don't charge, but I like to pay. So, but Grandma's free, and she wanted to take the kids, and it was during the week, so it was no big deal.
does she listen to this?
I don't know.
Camera Deba?
She knows about it.
Oh, okay.
Kappa Deba?
I was gonna say Liberty, Captain Deborah.
Captain Deborah?
She's the best.
she is a captain in her own right.
She's the best.
And then things kind of went sideways professionally and physically for me. So the last episode that the audience heard, Mind, was it? Or no, A New Idea, the last episode, the end of season 1. We, I guess we're going to do a recap now of...
Yeah, let's recap the recap episode, dude.
Sorry,
I love
everybody.
it. No,
hey, I wanted to say sorry about that.
Someone complained.
Before we recorded that episode, I said, hey, this is really seeming like it's be like one of those 1980s
Happy Days
recap episodes with Laverne and Shirley, or even The Simpsons. You know that
where you think you're going to get the new season finale or the new whatever, and it's a recap of the last 10.
7 episodes. Yeah. And I told Tim, it used to piss me off as a kid when that would happen, but now we're going to do that with the podcast. He goes, it's not going to be like that. And so then we released it, and sure enough,
it pissed people off, or someone. So now we're going to recap the recap episode.
A few people have said, hey, "What the hell is
throw
this?
that
this
out
is
there?
Total bullshit. This wasn't a new episode. It was a recap.
Yeah,
it was a recap. You guys totally, screwed us." And I went, "Oh shit! Someone caught me."
So
but you pushed us into it.
This is season 1, episode 1. It's a recap of the last season's recap.
But things went sideways. That last episode, I said I hadn't been sick in a while because we know that, 5D and 3D, the cause and effect, right?
Yeah.
And the 3D rationalize it as a virus or bacteria.
Oh, dude,
whatever.
You got really sick.
But really, it's because of how you've been believing and what you've been thinking of yourself and others. And so, after I haven't been sick in a while, I just got so sick. I was sick for 2 weeks.
Right.
And, what happened, Code?
I didn't even hear from you for like a week.
Why were you sick? And
which is strange.
Yeah. So, business went sideways. My business partner went sideways a bit. And so I had to go solo. I had to break away from him a little bit. No judgment. He's a sweetheart, but I had to break away from him and go solo.
The best.
Yeah, he is. I had to break away from him and go solo. So that was very stressful. And then one of my closest friends went full dark negative based on preconceived ideas that aren't true, which is fine. No judgment. Everyone does them. I do the same thing. And so I got emotionally involved with both of my former business partner and close friend and my best friend. And I got emotionally involved, and I, thought and said some things that I probably, that I regret. And,
it went verbal, nuclear verbal.
It went verbal,
and then physical,
and then I got sick. I judged, and so and I was judged.
Yes,
I got very ill.
Started reaping,
and so yeah, we call it reaping. The reaping,
dude. Get reaped.
Get reaped.
You got reaped.
Yeah. What'd you say? Yeah. Get reaped. Get reaped.
You got reaped hard.
So anyway, I got reaped pretty hard. And I'm just coming clean. Look, this isn't easy. We've always said this. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Making these changes isn't easy. So I was going through this, these personal trials and these physical trials, and I started thinking to myself, like, okay, well, how is it all at? I know what I was doing in my mind and with my beliefs and judgments and all that. Okay, that's fine. But why are these, what's really going on here? And Holy Spirit came to me and said, when you change, you and Tim are always talking about this. When you change your beliefs, the outside world will change.
Adapts.
It will adapt. That's what you like that term. Adapt. I call it rationalization. Okay,
right.
So the outside world will adapt or rationalize itself around that. And sometimes those rationalizations or adaptations that are going to happen, those timeline shifts, to get where you want to go.
Yeah, it has to happen.
Some bad things might happen.
Everybody gets what they want, whether they
partner,
like it or not.
Right.
I love that.
So your business partner might not be your business partner anymore. Your close friend of 30 plus odd years, may take a step away from that close friendship of 31 some odd years for a certain amount of time, forever, who knows? And this may hurt, you may go through some of these things.
Right.
But at the end of it, you're going to get where your beliefs are going to take you. Your beliefs of love, and forgiveness and non-judgment, and do what the master says. Just stay the course and don't worry about the storm around you. Be still.
Yeah.
Right? For I am with you.
Yeah. Know that I'm always there.
So just got done with all that stuff. And now we're ready to start season 2. So basically, I described to Tim, the rocket ship's been upgraded to a UFO. I use a rocket ship as a descriptor, an analogy for
taking off.
This journey
for
that we're
taking
on.
off.
Yeah. And recently, I looked around inside that ship, and it wasn't a rocket ship. There was no fuel being spent.
No, it was like the one they landed on the moon.
Yeah, right? No.
The dumpster, the foil. It was something like that.
The tinfoil ship.
Yeah.
They landed, and then they played golf and ran a dune buggy.
It was one of those.
Where'd that dune buggy come from, anyway?
That's
a pretty small ship.
I want the saucer shape, dude.
They're doing donuts on the moon. Listen, that'll be a different episode. Okay,
forget it.
He hits the golf ball.
I know.
Oh my god. Anyway, so yeah, we've been upgraded to UFO now, and now we're just
Sweet.
This
Centrifugal teleportation.
Season 2.
Let's go, dude.
This episode is called Authority, and we'll start off with some scripture as usual.
Oh, sweet.
Well, do we always do it? But pretty often. So go ahead. So we're gonna do Matthew, and then we're gonna do the Luke.
All right, Matthew 28.
Yep, verse 18, baby.
Matthew 28, 18.
Correct.
And Jesus came and said to them, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me.
Okay, and then the Luke 10, verse 19.
And also Luke 10:19. Behold, I give you the authority to trample on serpents and scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you.
Nothing shall by any means hurt you. I love that.
Yeah, that's
okay,
hard.
So Matthew,
that comes hard right there at the end. By any means.
So the master in Matthew 28:18 says, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. And then in Luke, he's given us the authority. Behold, I have given you authority.
Oh, okay.
Over all the power of the enemy, and nothing by any means shall hurt you.
This is very similar to I am the light. The light is in me, and you are the light.
I am the light. I am the light. You are the light.
He is in me. I am in you. You are the light. I am the light. He is in me. I am in you. That's the best.
I am the light. He is in me. I am in you. I am the light. You are the light. He is the light. I am the light. I am the light. You are the light. He is in me. I am in you.
That's it. Yeah.
So it's all authority is been given to me, and I've given you all the authority.
That's it.
Wow. Boom.
That's it.
Okay. So what's that look like? I mean, my goodness. Okay, what's that look like? So your authority is your belief, right? Your authority is your knowing, your understanding that you're not going to die, that you're going to just continue forever without stopping ever. You're infinity. That's what you are right now. Right now.
Wow.
You're infinity now. You're not going to die. Nothing can hurt you. Where is it, Tim? What does it say? And nothing shall by any means hurt you. So nothing shall by any means. Not nuclear war, nothing. Not drive-by. It's all bullshit. Okay, you have the authority based on what you believe. Now, if you give your authority away due to unbelief in this, if you don't believe the master, and as soon as you don't believe the master, you're giving your authority away. How can you take hold of authority that he's giving you if you don't believe it's given to you? But you have it, you have to give it away to something else.
Really?
Believing in the things around you.
Oh, okay.
You're constantly believing. You're constantly giving or keeping your authority to yourself, your sovereignty. Your sovereignty as a son of God, as a being of light. So if you believe that you are just flesh and blood and you're going to expire at 88 years old and, you believe all the laws of the world, then you're going to live all the laws of the world. And you're going to live under that whole belief system. You're going to experience those things. You're going to experience, death, pain, injury, all these things because you are not believing the master. Instead, you're believing the world. Okay.
So you give up. You concede your authority. You don't have it anymore.
You always have it, but you're giving it to somebody else. For instance, if I go to Mexico, and I have a tour guide that's going to take me to the Mayan ruins. I'm going to give him my authority as far as he's going to dictate where I go, where I stand, which pathway to get there, right? So I don't run into
of course.
They're going to shake me down for $200, right?
Right.
So I'm giving him my authority, right, to take me somewhere.
Sure.
Right. So we give the world the authority to take me somewhere, take me on a journey. That journey is life, right? But now you're going to experience death in these things.
Uh-huh.
But if you keep your authority that Jesus has given you, then he takes you on the journey. Then you're on his journey of everlasting life, ceaseless life. You understand that?
Right, but you don't give it up forever.
No, you can,
because you have eternal life. So you're giving it up in this timeline.
Yeah, you're giving it up in
this generation. That's what.
You know, everything. There is no tomorrow, right? Everything's right now.
Yeah. There's
never anything other than the present moment.
Right.
So get rid of the idea of forever. It's just, I don't mean get rid of the idea of forever. I just mean get comfortable with the idea of your authority in this moment. You're either giving it up or you're retaining it for yourself. Right now.
Gotcha.
Right now. And then for the next moment and the next moment. It's all moment to moment.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're going through your day, you're either giving your authority or retaining your authority.
Gotcha.
You're either giving your authority or retaining your authority. I am separate, or I am one with everyone around me and God is one. Or now I'm separate. And so you're giving your authority or you're retaining your authority. All the time. And that's why...
It's constant.
Right. And so the controllers, the government, the people in charge of the 3D know all of this. And so that's why... You ever wonder why when computers first came out, even now, you're constantly asked to sign consent forms?
Always.
Right. Right. You have to scroll through them real fast, and I've read it all. Please click here to consent
right.
to give your authority to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything is a consent form. Do you ever wonder why there's like 6 billion people on the earth? And do you really think, and everyone knows no one's reading the consents.
No.
So what does it matter whether you click it or not? Like, what does that matter?
Right.
It's an energy exchange. It's an authority exchange.
Terms and agreements.
Right.
I just got an email of that.
It's a
updated our
exchange.
terms and agreements.
Right. Please consent now.
Yeah, right.
Everything's a consent form. Even when you change a channel. Everything's a consent. Oh, I'm watching the news now. I'm believing it now. I'm consenting that that's what happened today. I'm consenting that reality could be mine. Or that may affect me. Now I'm consenting. I'm consenting to the Word document. I'm consenting to this. I'm consenting to that.
Yeah.
Think about all the things you consent to that go against these two verses right here. Just day to day, moment to moment.
Probably most of them. Probably most of them.
And that's a problem.
Yeah.
And that's why these things are all screwed up. So the controllers know about this authority. And they know that we have it.
Mm-hmm.
And they know that you have it. And they have it for themselves. Everyone has their individual authority. And so we have this authority and this creative power. And so we're basically batteries, right? They want to harness our psychic energy of our belief and our authority in order to make their world. Well, how do you know that, Cody? How do you know that they know this? All right, so that's what brings us to our first document of this new episode. And it's a CIA document.
CIA?
Yeah, that was released in 2001, March 7th, 2001.
Mm-hmm.
And it is called An Introduction of the Resonance Model of Psychic Energy Dynamics by Blewett Duncan, PhD.
Duncan and June.
And Robert Osborne.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll jump in here. I'll read this first part here. We're going to start here. It says, in 1968, we began a long-term project aimed at examining the nature of psychic energy and its potential applications. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. There we go. We have reported our work at each of the previous congresses of this group and at this and it's redacted. As a progress report, after our first decade of study, we wish to put forward a theoretical model which accounts for the observations we have as to date. The model is presented in the form of a series of related postulates we believe comprise a theoretical structure within which the workings of psychic energy can be understood and intentionally modified or directed. Okay, so
Wow.
the CIA, hired these people to go figure this thing out. And these guys came back, and this is what they found about how you could, the workings of psychic energy, how can it be understood and
Intentionally modified or directed. That's wild.
Number one, each individual is a psychic energy system comprising his or her mind and psychic energy field. AKA, each individual is a authoritative battery of creative power given by God himself. Each individual is a psychic energy system comprising his or her mind and psychic energy field. Your aura. Number two, each individual's psychic energy system is in continuous inductive interaction with all other psychic
with everybody else. That's wild.
Wow. That's strange.
Okay, so that's why in the Bible Jesus is always preaching unity and instead of division.
Right. We got to come
where
together.
two or more are gathered.
I am with you. I am creating with you.
Wow.
Each individual's authority energy system, they call it psychic. I'm throwing in the word authority because we just talked about it, right?
Right.
But
yeah.
that's where this is coming from, right? Number three, this inductive process, which occurs within the unconscious mind, is the input or source of psychic energy for the individual's psychic system.
Okay.
Number four, the induced psychic...
Wait a minute. Psychic... Okay, what's the individual psychic system? What is the system?
That's what it's going to explain to us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
It's going to explain to us what the individual's psychic system is. But basically, it's this psychic energy field from number one. See? The psychic energy system comprises the mind and the psychic energy field.
Okay.
That's the system.
Okay.
Okay, and then the number four, the induced psychic energy then flows through the system of the individual, entering the conscious mind as the stream of consciousness.
Okay.
Okay, so the inductive process occurs in the unconscious mind as the input or source of the psychic energy, and then the psychic energy then flows through the system of the individual, entering the conscious mind as the stream of consciousness, which is what you see.
Right.
Which is what the five senses.
Right.
Number five, consciousness is the individual's experience of the flow of psychic energy through his or her system. What? Consciousness is the individual's experience of the flow of psychic energy through his or her system. So that's what your consciousness is. It's the experience of the flow of psychic energy through. So everything we're seeing, you and me, our brothers and sisters, all of us are connected.
Right, like an ocean.
Like
and it's flowing.
We're in an ocean, yeah.
Right. That's
Number
wild.
six. I know. This is. You just can't believe it's just popping off the page. It's
For real.
It's one thing to have our spiritual friends, and it's another thing to be reading the Master. But then we got the CIA going over here. You're going, oh yeah, this is definitely. So when I read the first scriptures and I said, you have all the authority over the enemy and his powers. What does that look like? This is what that looks like. This is what your authority is. This is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Because you're in control of your psychic flow once you're conscious of it, and you know that the things that are going through your subconscious mind through television or the screen,
Yeah. What you're
or the
thinking.
controllers or the school or your job is trying to make you have a certain experience to project a certain world they want, where they're the ones on top and we're the ones in the middle or the bottom, et cetera, et cetera.
Wow. So So it's basically, what you're seeing determines what you're thinking. And as a man thinketh.
So is he.
Right. Well, that's wild. This is wild, dude.
I know. Right? It's season 2. Number 6. Psychic energy leaves from the system as the expressive activities of being. Psychic energy leaves.
I.e. radiated.
Radiated from the system.
Yeah.
As the expressive activities of being. So all your emotions, anything that is expressive, and we know thought is action, words, let there be light, right? In the beginning was the word. That's
right.
An expressive activity. Running and all those things. Because you think expressive activity, you think sports and going to the gym. No. Everything you do is an expressive activity.
Sure. Yeah, and that's what it's saying.
And your psychic energy is leaving, radiating from the system, and
it's the activities of being. That's what it says.
So everything is just adapting, as you say, to all these things as we're doing this. Number 7, the greater the throughput. These are some of your terms here for our band, we do our music. Throughput is one of those terms. The ohms, the impedance of the ohms.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Number 7. The greater the throughput of psychic energy, the greater the inductive effect of the individual's psychic energy field. I mean, can you make... What does that say? Got to breathe through this. The greater the throughput of psychic energy...
Right.
Okay, so the more psychic
more
energy
that's coming in.
Mm-hmm. The greater the inductive effect of the individual psychic energy field. So the news is coming in, and it's coming in. There's a lot more of it. It's coming in. The more of it there is,
right.
The more inductive.
The harder
effect,
it's flowing. The more graphics on the screen. Whatever you're seeing,
being radiated out from me.
Mm-hmm.
The greater the inductive effect of the individual's psychic energy field. So this is it. This is what I'm saying. We create reality. We're batteries. We're the God's little G.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, from Psalm, right? They need us. Where 2 or more are gathered. And we know from Joe Dispenza, from one of the other previous episodes, we know that the group of people that believes with intention.
Yeah,
that's
the group.
what the reality that
consciousness.
They end up experience. Yes. Okay, so here it is. The greater the throughput of psychic energy from the subconscious mind, from up here, number 2 or number 3. Okay, that's going to affect the individual psychic energy field, which in turn affects everybody else's psychic energy field.
Right, and you have millions of people believing something.
Right.
They're literally creating it.
We're creating it together.
Right.
So the controllers are so it's an orchestra. It's an orchestra, dude. Okay.
Oh.
And you're playing the violin.
Right.
And I'm playing the cello. And the dude up there, the conductor.
The conductor.
Is the frickin' controllers. They're the Rachel Maddow. They're the Hannity. They're the talking heads.
I'm going to tell you, this is why I love jazz more than classical. I'll tell you right off the bat, dude.
Because we're just improvising. We play our own instruments.
That's why most of these jazz greats were classically trained.
It's the secret reason.
They went to it.
Yeah, it's the reason we didn't punk rock.
Right.
We didn't like that. The only one having fun in the orchestra is the conductor.
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious.
And everybody else has to learn their instrument painstakingly just so they can do what the conductor wants.
Right.
To make his vision. I mean, listen, we're half kidding. Classical music's amazing.
Of course.
However, I would hate to just, although they make pretty good money. If you just, you just read music on the page and play the cello.
Yeah.
Really good money.
Yeah, anyway, especially if you're playing some John Williams at the Hollywood Bowl.
Still, the fact remains, John Williams with the Hollywood Bowl. Just Star Wars. No, but this is big, right? So we're the orchestra.
This
The
is
conductor-
wild, man.
Someone has to be the conductor, and it's either the master and the spiritual disciplines, or it's the controllers, you guys.
Right.
Number 8, the direction of energy flow within an individual system is determined by his or her psychological set.
Wait,
That
let's
means-
stop there.
Yes, it means is determined by his or her beliefs.
Psychological set.
Is your beliefs. And, I mean, of course, you know, your socioeconomic status, where you grew up, but doesn't that inform your beliefs? I mean, I'm simplifying it, but basically that's the way I read it. Your psychological set is what you believe about yourself, about the way the world works. Right?
Yeah.
The direction of energy flow
Yeah. Within.
an individual's psychic system is determined by his or her psychological, aka beliefs. Right?
Now, is that what it's saying, or is it psychological set?
But what is
Meaning,
a
like
psychological
what?
set?
Yeah, like what's going on in your brain? You know,
Exactly. Let's talk about it. What is a psychological set? When you really break it down, a psychological set is your socioeconomic status, who your parents were, how you grew up. This is what makes your psychological
I go
set.
right towards mental health. I mean, that's what I was.
Let's go towards mental health. Mental health is still your beliefs. Mental health is what you believe about yourself, how you got here, what the past represents, what the future, what you think the future might hold for yourself. These are all beliefs.
It's all beliefs.
It's all belief.
Right.
So that is what a psychological set is. I mean, I know, maybe, the simplicity of it all makes you feel uncomfortable or what have you, but this is what a psychological set is, a set of beliefs about
Okay.
yourself and the world around you. That is what mental health is.
Right.
And that's why we're all, eating shit. Because we all think that we're flesh, blood, and death's on the doorstep.
Okay, number 9. Rejection cuts energy flow, and pain turns the energy flow inward toward the site of pain, reversing the polarity in part of the system. This reversed energy cannot flow against the current of induced energy, but it prevents further input in the blocked areas.
Wow. So now we're getting to, from 8 to 9 is a big jump here. So
Yeah.
they're talking about how negativity, rejection,
Right.
cuts energy flow, and pain turns the energy flow inward.
Toward the side of pain, reversing the polarity in part of the system.
Sounds like you don't want to be doing that.
Right.
This is
Right.
a powerful system.
Yeah.
And I don't think I want to be reversing the polarity at all. Is this
No.
how we get cancer and disease?
Could be.
I mean, you're reversing polarity. That's always bad.
Sure.
The site of pain, reversing the polarity in part of the system. This reversed energy cannot flow against the current of induced energy, but it prevents
Further input.
in the blocked areas.
Right.
Wow, I'm gonna have to really think about that one. Let's see what number 10. Maybe it'll give us some more.
Yeah.
clues to the first-
Yeah, I was just reading that. Number 10 is positively and negatively charged forms of psychic energy result from the different directions, polarities of psychic energy within the individual's psychic system.
So there we go. That gives us more context to number 9.
Right.
Positively and negatively charged forms of psychic energy result from the different directions or polarities of psychic energy within the individual's psychic system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's telling us that we have the positive and the negative. That's what we're always talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
The judgment, the hate, the of yourself, others, the past, or the past that doesn't exist, or a future that will never come. You You're either positive or negative
Right.
on everything you think, right? Throughout the day. You're either, I think a positive outcome is going to happen, or I think a negative outcome is most likely.
Yeah.
There's never just a...
I guess I never really thought about it like
I
that.
know, it's kind of trippy, right?
Like polarity. I never
Yeah, like what's your, how's your polarity?
a polarity perspective, like
Right.
actual electric.
Huh.
It's
And I mean,
it is.
Right.
I
Now-
do feel like that after you just said it. Like
sure.
I'm pretty much positive, unless something does it, like I make a mistake at work or just in a conversation with someone and
Or even something
they're
insidious.
negative. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
or something insidious, like you want new clothes,
Sure.
but you don't have money in the bank account to buy new clothes.
right.
But you think that you don't, it doesn't bother you, but really it's a lingering negative thing. Maybe and I'm just using this as, I don't know if that's you or anyone else, but I'm just
Sure.
using it as a general example.
Right.
That even those little minor things you think you don't quote unquote care about can still kind of eat away at you. You need new shoes, but you can't get them until 3 paychecks from now, or whatever it is.
There's either a positive or negative.
Charge.
Right.
So, with the master and the scripture, we're thinking about these things in this kind of metaphysical way, this fifth dimensional way, that it's just feeling and emotion and these different things. But then you put in this science aspect where it's literally charged forms of energy that can get dangerous. I mean, we already knew it was dangerous just on a metaphysical, right?
Sure.
Remember the guy that got shot? He was in a wheelchair,
Sure.
paraplegic.
Yes.
And then it turns out he was sleeping with 5 women. They were all married, right? So we thought, that's bad enough, violating the law of love, right? But if you add to the fact that actions, thoughts, and beliefs like that about others have a positively or negatively charged
Polarity.
Polarity, that can start messing up your organs, man.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a trip.
You're gonna fry your
You know what I mean?
transformer.
So it's like, well, good, purple pill show, it's all, it's all sweet to think about, emotionally and stuff like that. But when you add like a physical electricity aspect to it, it's like, okay, bro, yeah, like you think it's hippie? There's a real power here. There's a real,
Right.
there's a positive and negatively charged. We're bad. What I say before we started reading this document, like I didn't read the document before we started the show. I said we're batteries of creation, and
Yeah.
we use this. And then look, here we go. Positively and negatively charged forms of psychic energy.
Mm-hmm.
Number 11.
Number 11. Positively charged and negatively charged forms of psychic energy operate in opposed fashion and absorb each other within the individual's psychic system.
Wow. So positively charged and negatively charged forms of psychic energy operate in opposed fashion and absorb each other within the individual's psyche. So maybe one can cancel another out. That's why sometimes the positive
Sure.
can't come. Because the negative, so it's that polarity consciousness that I'm talking about. So you have an individual polarity, and then this is one of those downloads that the Holy Spirit gave me was with this the polarity consciousness of the general population of the 6 billion, and if your belief can tip the scale towards the master and the spiritual disciplines, the world can change that way. But right now, the polarity is too tilted towards the 3D, towards the world, and its negative forms of belief and
Right.
energy, and
It's in opposition
it's an
of each other.
opposition of each other, and it can absorb. So
Right.
if we're too far on that scale on the negative, it can absorb whatever positive there is,
Right.
and also if we're on the positive, it can absorb the negative. Right?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
killer, dude.
Yeah.
What are we gonna-
That's wild.
Wait a minute.
I'm just like,
I don't know. Like, is this a CIA document or is this like pie in the sky? Like, what is this? All right, go to number 12.
all right, positively charged psychic energy has a levitational effect
I
upon
just can't. Okay, now I'm gonna start flying to the
Upon-
fucking air, Tim.
upon level of consciousness and mood, and induces itself as feelings of well-being and acceptance.
Okay. positively charged psychic energy has a levitational effect.
Sure. Uplifting. Uplifting effect.
Upon level of consciousness and mood. Why doesn't it say uplift? I love how, the guy who wrote this, he wants to use levitational effect.
That's fine.
Instead of,
I mean, David Blaine levitation has a David Blaine type effect.
Yeah, right. Upon level of consciousness and mood, and induces itself as feelings of well-being and acceptance.
Sure.
That's what your positively charged psychic energy has.
Okay, let's go negative.
Okay,
all right, 13. It just happens to be the 13th one.
Number 13.
Negative psychic energy has a gravitational effect upon level of consciousness and mood and induces itself as feelings of discomfort and rejection. Okay.
Say it again. Say it again. Let's talk over you.
Negative psychic energy has a gravitational effect, right? Pulls you down.
Now we're pulling me down.
Right. Upon level of consciousness and
pulls
mood.
Down your level of consciousness.
And mood.
Okay, now hold on. Let's pause because, we know mood, okay? We know it's going to bring our mood down. But our level of consciousness, that's what's tripping me out about that. It has a grounding, so you could say it almost has it brings you to the 3D.
Yes, sucks you down.
Sucks you down.
Yes.
So that's why they're using the words levitational as opposed to uplifting. Because it's not, because if they used uplifting, you would think it was just being emotional. No, you're actually going up. Your experience is going up, is levitating. Your experience is going to be pulled down. That's why they're using this. That's what number 13 is really giving me that kind of insight.
Feelings of discomfort and rejection.
Shit. Negative psychic energy has a pulling down gravitational effect upon the level of consciousness as well as and mood. See, mood is kind of an afterthought because we already get that, but the level of consciousness, your experience, and induces itself as feelings of discomfort and rejection. It's trippy how they use the word rejection twice. And I like that term because we say that we're judging ourselves, we hate ourselves, and we talk negative about ourselves or think we're less than, right? It's always less than, right?
Yeah.
But another good term for that is like rejection. You're basically rejecting.
Well, I'm just looking at this. So 12 and 13, right? It's positive versus negative, and they use the examples of feelings of well-being versus discomfort, right? And then they have the other one is acceptance versus rejection.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah, that makes it pretty simple, right?
Right.
Accept yourself. Accept. Yeah. I took the kids out to. My wife needed some time away from the kids, right? She's get caught up on the house and other things.
Sure.
And I took half a day, and I took my eldest is in school. I took the two small ones to the beach. It was a nice spring beach day. We had our jackets and stuff. Wind was pretty kicking up. But we put on our pants and we put our feet in the ocean and stuff. And the ocean was just roaring, dude. It was so rough out there because of the wind. No one in the
swells, waves, everything.
Huge crushing waves. Like you go out there, it was Black Ball City. I mean, you'd be sucked right out to Catalina and drown.
Yeah.
So you don't dare go in. There was no one. I mean, just no one in the ocean whatsoever. Not a hardcore surfer with the bodysuit or none of that.
Yeah.
And so it was real beautiful. I took some pictures. The kids are having fun. Everything's fine. And I'm like, my God, that ocean is just raging. But I look way out there. There's a single solitary duck. Just one little duck, and he's just chilling, and he's just calm as can be, and he's just boop, boop, boop,
an ocean duck,
and ocean duck, and he's just boop, 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 boop. Not a seagull, it was a duck.
Sweet.
And I took some video, and these massive waves are just, and they're just trying to crush him, but he just boop right over that wave, right over the next wave. And I'm just going, my God, that he had to get hit by this one. This one's going to crush him. There's no way, right?
Yeah.
Sure enough, the wave crashes. I look, and here he comes.
Really?
He never goes under once. And I just thought to myself, be the duck. I got to be the duck.
Yeah.
And so he isn't sitting there trying to stop the wind, right? And he's not trying to stop the waves because that's a fool's errand.
Right.
he just knows, right? He just knows. He's a duck. And nothing bad is going to happen to him. He has the authority because he has the webbed toes and he has his little fucking wings right there.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't even have to use them. He's not using them. He's just using his little webbed feet. He's just
Why
swimming.
is he
He's
not
choosing
flying
to-
out?
He's choosing to swim as opposed to just fly and just be done with this until the wind dies down.
Right. I'd be using my levitational
So would I.
powers to just get me out of here.
He knows he has the authority as the duck over the ocean.
Right. That's cool.
I mean, so if can't we do better? Can we just be better than the duck?
Sure.
Right. Especially when we have stuff like this to kind of back up the master and back up all these things we've been talking about.
I know.
All right,
This
let's
is
do it.
pretty neat. All right. 14.
Sure.
Group psychic energy fields comprise the combined inductive effects of all other constituent individual fields and the inductive interactions between them.
This is getting pretty intense here. So,
Group.
psychic energy fields. So
Right.
2 or more are gathered, I am with you.
Sure.
But we'll say 5 to 10.
There's a small party.
Okay, group, and this is from the Joe Dispenza from a few episodes ago. Do you still have that article? I wish we could pull that up and just have a little bit. Anyway, the group psychic energy fields comprise the combined inductive effects of all their constituent individual fields and the inductive interactions between them. Wow, that's a lot in there.
Yeah.
So basically, all of our psychic energy fields interact based on all of the combined inductive effects of all the constituent individual fields and the inductive interactions between them.
Right.
That's
It's
the
just a
group
small
psychic-
party.
That's the group psychic energy field.
Right. You can form small parties
I mean, we're the
of
X.
energy fields. Right.
So
And you have
that's why
the
these
X-
are player groups.
X-Force, X-Factor, the Avengers, the X-Men. It's just different groups
Right. And
can
different-
form
and
different energy fields.
and different prayer groups, right?
Sure.
So people laugh at prayer groups and things like that, but
Right.
meanwhile, here we have that it's an actual look. Whether you see the energy coming to your fingers or not, the energy is coming out of your fingers, dude.
Right.
Yeah, you are storm. Yeah, this lightning's coming out of your hands. You can't see it, but it is. Period.
Yeah.
You have an energy field, a force field, an aura too that also protects you. That's why I get a bad vibe from that person. Yeah, because your 2 energy fields are crossing right now while you're interacting.
Right.
15. When resonance occurs between psychic energy fields, synergy of psychic energy results. I'm going to jump out a window, Tim. I can't do it. I know you know where this is going. Just based on that sentence.
I do.
I'm just ready to run screaming out of the house. I thought the podcast would be fun. Now it's just terrifying. When resonance occurs between the psychic energy fields, like the group psychic energy fields number 14 above us, synergy of psychic energy results. So when the group of people is all agreeing on a belief, all agreeing, just like the Joe Dispenza article tells us,
Right.
that's what our reality starts to become. This social synergy is the energy of group cohesion and the dynamism of all social process. Wow. The dynamism?
I
Can you
know.
look that
I
up?
know. I was like, wait a minute. I don't think I've ever heard that word dynamism.
Dude, can we
That's
make a song?
killer.
That's gonna be a first song on our new
Dynamism.
record. This is
Dude.
the first song on our
New album. Bam, ba, ba, bam, ba, bam. Yeah.
Dynamism.
Dynamism.
I'm gonna call the record Dynamism, dude.
I'm going to change my
Will you
name
look up dynamism?
to
Tell me
dynamism
what dynamism- I
tomorrow.
want to know what Webster's says dynamism is. I'm just gonna love that. You got to pull that up. You got to know what that means. When resonance occurs between psychic energy fields,
It's something to do with dynamics.
Well,
Let's
of
see.
course.
The quality of being characterized by vigorous activity and progress.
that's dynamism.
Yeah, the quality of
Oh, the
being
quality.
of being characterized by vigorous.
Hold on.
The quality of being.
The quality of being, period. That's what dynamism is. Comma.
Yeah.
It's going to give us more context.
By vigorous activity and progress.
By vigorous activity. And so that could just be, so that's just abstract. That could be anything. Vigorous activity of thinking. Vigorous activity of me playing my guitar on my couch. It can be vigorous.
Sure.
Vigorous writing. I mean, you know what I mean? But when you use the term vigorous, your brain wants to go to running and weightlifting and, you know, building a house or something. But really, it could be a lot of different things. So the first part is what dynamism means. Say it again.
The quality of being.
The quality of being. God dang, this shit is so cool. This social synergy is the energy of group cohesion and the dynamism of all social process. Number 16. Resonance between the psychic energy fields of individuals tends to increase as they share a common intention and a common focus of attention. There we go. The resonance, which means the agreeance, right? The symbiotic joining of the beliefs.
Right.
Based on their intention, which would be prayer for people that are sick or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
It could also be to build the iPhone if it's Steve Jobs and a bunch of software engineers in a room together, you know?
Sure.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, they're resonating, bouncing thoughts off each other. Yeah, right.
Okay, let's go over here. I'm just going to skim this. Oh, yeah.
Oh, the end.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. In assessing the validity of these postulates, it is clear that when the effects of psychic energy are analogous, I'm saying that wrong, analogous to those which science has frequently to be characteristic of other forms of energy, this concurrence indicates an increased probability that our observations regarding psychic energy and sound at the same time, since psychic, parts of this document are kind of redacted
I know.
or messed up. At the same time, since psychic energy is the basis of consciousness, it has always been the focus of philosophy and religion. It is therefore reasonable to assume that where the postulates accord with the principles expressed in philosophy and religion, there is an increased probability that they are valid. Oh, that's interesting. It is further the case that consciousness and experience are inextricably intertwined and are very closely related, if not identical. It is clear, therefore, that where our postulates agree with one's personal experience, they should be given added credence. Thus, in assessing the utility of each of the postulates, we can have reference to what amounts to a coefficient of validity, which increases as there is agreement between our postulates, scientific analogies, philosophical principles, and personal experience. Beyond the matter of the consensual validity of the postulates, this is the question of the utility of the theoretical model they comprise. Whew. So I understand that. Basically, religion and philosophy have, just like we've done with the audience here. I mean, season 1, we kind of took you through the master and the teachings. And then here we are, and then towards the end, we got a little more into science. In season 2, we're going straight at it with the CIA document, and it's saying, you know, this psychic energy field that we've been studying, and it's definitely there, goes hand in hand with these feelings of these religious experiences people have.
Right. What I gathered from that at the end there, and the whole thing in general, with the groups, right, and the beliefs, and you know how they're charged, and they become stronger. At the very end, I don't know why this popped into my mind, but I was thinking like how these people are able to, like L. Ron Hubbard with Scientology, you know, say these things, get all these people and their beliefs, and then all of a sudden it works for them.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So is it L. Ron Hubbard and his system making it, or is it just them believing it?
Right.
That makes it work.
Right. I know.
And that comes back to the authority.
Sure.
Your authority is your belief and what you put your belief into.
Yes.
You're the one that makes it work. Or as Neville Goddard would say, you are the operant power in your experience. And it all comes down to what you believe and how much authority you give it. Because you have been given all authority over the enemy and his powers.
So that's powerful in itself, right there. That was heavy.
That's the episode. We're gonna. It's the first of a 3-parter, I think. I mean,
for real.
Yeah, the next episode we have another document to go through.
Okay.
And we're gonna build on now that we've we're gonna build on this idea of authority as well.
I do like it
more as we go, but this was just we wanted to touch on it and get it out there.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah. So welcome back, everybody. Even though you guys have been listening this whole time, but it feels good to be back in the saddle with Tim.
Yeah.
Tim Bot Das. I am the code. Purple Pill Show. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, for sure.
It's gonna be coming quick.
Part 2.
All right.
Later.